Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. And I'm your host, Randy Sharman. I know with the warm temperatures, winter seems a long way off, but now's the time to start planning for that winter getaway. And with that, Expedia has come out with their list of the hottest island destinations. So travel expert Onanta Forbes will join me in a few seconds to offer some tips on what to plan for and some ideas on where to go. Plus, we'll head to Edinburgh, Scotland to talk with one of the tour guides of the historic Edinburgh Castle, a place full of interesting stories and a majestic view overlooking the city of Edinburgh. But first, let's kick things off chatting with travel expert Onanta Forbes, who joins us each week to talk about the latest travel news, trends, and travel tips in general. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Hello, Onanta.
Hello, Randy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I know with the warm weather, winter is probably the last thing you're thinking about, or maybe it is because it's cooler. But planning that getaway, now's the time to sort of start thinking about it, right? And Expedia came out with some destination ideas, the hottest island destinations, just for some ideas, so we can run through a few of those. But now is the time to kind of think about it, at least if you're wanting to do a winter getaway, because things get booked up quickly, don't they?
Oh, they do. Absolutely. And, booking now can save you money and give you more choices and help you avoid disappointment. So the list, the 2026 Island Hot List, it highlights the destinations seeing the biggest surge in interest this year. So first up is St. Lucia. And this is where searches have jumped an incredible 125%. It's recognized for one of the top romantic escapes. And think of the dramatic Piton mountains, luxurious resorts, lush rainforests. And it's some of the Caribbean's most spectacular scenery. So if you're celebrating like an anniversary, a honeymoon, a milestone birthday, or simply looking for a way to connect, it should deserve a place on your short list. And then the next one, and this destination is on it's like a hit it's on the it list for many different reasons. But in Portugal, in Madeira archipelago, there's a place called Porto Santo. And it's a very peaceful island, and it's becoming a favorite for travelers looking to slow down and recharge. It's got a great beach, got wellness resorts, and a laid-back atmosphere. So for those wanting a quieter European island escape, this might be it. And Portugal is definitely a place for a winter getaway. A lot of people retire here, too, so maybe another place to look at.
Yeah.
The next place is in the Seychelles. And the Seychelles, to me, are a great place for nature lovers. Very beautiful beaches, rare wildlife, and a beautiful nature reserve. So it's a good way, again, to truly disconnect from the hustle of everyday life. This one I have to smile about because I had the opportunity to visit earlier this year, and that's Palawan in the Philippines. And it absolutely lives up to its reputation. Beautiful crystal clear lagoons, limestone cliffs, and really beautiful beaches, as well as the opportunity to island hop on different excursions. And I always say this about the Philippines, and I say it even more so after I visited, some of the warmest and friendliest people you'll ever meet. It's you think when you see pictures of the Philippines, it's just a postcard. Well, it's reality. And the beaches are incredible. Like it's just the sand is just nice and smooth. It's really quite lovely. And then other places are for families and water lovers. They're in Puerto Rico, famous for its flamenco beach, excellent snorkeling, great water, like crystal clear water. If you're thinking of going with your kids or grandkids, because multi-generational family travel is huge, it's go to Sanibel Island in Florida. Have you been? Because you love Florida.
I do love Florida. I haven't been to Sanibel Island, but it would be on my list. It's funny how the 10 places they list. The only place I've been is St. Lucia.
Oh, is
And
that
St.
right?
Lucia is
Oh,
beautiful.
yes, it
Yeah,
is.
so
It is.
I have lots of places that I could go visit. But
Right.
one of the things that we wanted to get at too is just some of the things that you should be doing now. And obviously, there's a cost factor, whatever you can afford within your budget, and timing too, because you want to make sure that you get what you want as far as a room if you're looking at a hotel or a cruise or anything like that, right?
Right. Absolutely. Most experienced travelers know that the best winter months are usually planned months in advance. So if you're hoping to escape between December and March, now is the ideal time to start making those plans. So book your flights early. Like airfares to warm weather destinations tend to rise as demand increases, especially over Christmas, New Year's, Family Day, and spring break. So booking often means better prices, more flight options, and a greater chance to securing those convenient nonstop flights. Because as we've talked about before, flights sometimes aren't as straightforward as they we want them to be at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day. And then reserve your resort as soon as possible because once you've decided on your destination, because that way you get the most desirable room categories, whether it's an ocean view room, swim up suite, family suite, or overwater bungalow because they're usually the first to sell out.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found when I booked my multi generational families, they want to be in rooms connecting or near each other. So you want to consider that too for location placement and for having that opportunity. And if your schedule allows, be flexible with your travel dates. Departing maybe 1 or 2 days earlier or later can sometimes save hundreds of dollars while opening up better flights and accommodation choices. And I want you to think about this. Take a few minutes to check your passport. So many countries
Yes.
uh, requ- require it to be valid 6 months beyond your return date.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really simple to verify it now so that you can prevent a major headache later. And because if it expires, it's not a renewal, it's a whole new application. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit more complex. And don't overlook travel insurance. Winter weather in Canada can cause delays and missed connections before your vacation even begins. So comprehensive travel insurance can protect your investments and provide peace of mind should the unexpected happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you might want to also think beyond the traditional winter hotspots. We talked about a few, um, but so while Mexico, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic continues to be excellent choices, what we've talked about with Philippines and Portugal, the Seychelles, um, offer unique experiences for travelers looking for something different. Um, and then for those who want special excursions, whether it's island hopping or snorkeling with sea turtles, a catamaran, book them ahead of time because most of these popular experiences sell out during peak season.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we talked about this last week, but don't forget about to look at your loyalty programs. Airline miles, hotel rewards, and travel credit card points can sometimes help reduce the costs and allow you to upgrade your experience. But most important, I think, is don't choose a destination simply because it's trending. Choose a destination that fits your travel style, your budget, the type of memories you want to create because
Mm-hmm.
it's not the because the best winter escape isn't necessarily the one everybody else is talking about. It's the one that's perfect for you.
Mm-hmm. And what about doing the whole package deal? I know you're talking about booking your airfare and your rooms and that in advance. But when you look at like Air Canada vacations, for example, or WestJet vacations, or Sunwing, or whatever, where it's all bundled together, and then somebody like yourself, if you're looking at a destination maybe like Portugal or the Philippines, which is a little more exotic than I don't know Puerto Vallarta, and you may not have been there before, but it helps to have someone holding your hand when you're booking those things, right?
Absolutely. And I definitely experienced it myself. Like when I went to the Philippines recently, I did look at, booking it independently and putting together my own package versus somebody that a tour operator like Tour Can Vacations who created it for me. They have those special relationships with the ground operators at destination. So what you say about hand holding, it is good because it's a different destination for me and for potential travelers. And so it was wonderful through WhatsApp or whatever platform that the supplier and you have every day or the day before, they would tell you, remind you what is coming up, where to meet, who you're meeting, and what to expect. So they were with you all the step of the way, and that comes in really happen. Good or
Hmm.
in a positive manner when so something goes awry, you have somebody looking at what you could do in next steps. Your
Hmm.
travel agent's always available, but remember, if you are away at a destination where the time zone difference there's a difference, you don't want to have that lag time. You want to have real time help,
Hmm.
and that person at destination, that ground operator, will help you and will be able to manage it for you. They can, reconfirm your domestic flights. They can deviate if you see something that, perhaps you want to explore that you didn't think of before. Maybe the opportunity to do something different at destination does involve. So I think, again, just like insurance, having somebody that is an expert in the destination, knows the local tour operators and suppliers and the attractions, is definitely can help you. And what I found in cases such as comparing booking it independently to a package, it'll
Hmm.
save you time, it'll save you money, and it'll save you well, should I go here or should I not go there? Because again, your preferences and what you want to do are considered and
Hmm.
then created just for you and your family and your friends.
Hmm. And plus, talk about deposits a little bit because sometimes the deposit is very minimal, and you don't pay anything until maybe 30 days out or 45 days
That
out or whatever the time frame is.
right. Right. So, like, say, for example, with WestJet Vacation, their deposit to various destinations is $250 per person. And then 45 days prior to departure is your final payment. Now, the other thing, like cruises, is a huge spot, like travel choice, and it goes to various destinations that you might want to consider traveling to, but they sometimes even have reduced deposits as part of their promo,
Hmm.
and or no deposit, but then and then you don't have to pay till 60 days prior, 75 days prior, depending on the cruise line.
Hmm.
So what comes into factor is, and working with your travel professional, is seeing where those promos are so you don't have to put the money up front. I know with Viking at times the deposit's only $25 per person, and then the
Nice.
bounce, So you don't even think about $25 per person, but then you're locked into a great vacation and you
Yeah,
don't have
exactly.
to worry about, so it, yeah, that, there's lots of promos because it is a competitive market right now in travel and people are looking to get your business. So that's why it's good to plan ahead because you never know what can come to comes to you. And also, different companies will have, for an example, a travel protection plan that will allow you to take advantage if a lower price comes out
Hmm.
at no change fee,
Hmm.
and or also change your dates. Maybe you see a date that's better for you or a lower price. So travel protection plans come into effect that are offered by different travel suppliers and operators that might help you save money even after you put your deposit down.
Plus, it's fun, right? It's fun planning a trip or even just getting some ideas and looking at websites and talking to people.
Oh, yes. That's what the internet has definitely, and AI has definitely put the bug into people because you look at all the different places that you've seen, and social media kind of brings up different, especially if you looked at it once, they'll bring it up again
Yes,
and
exactly.
again. um, to lure you into thinking, oh, maybe this is the right thing for me. But again, you AI and the internet will only respond to what you input into the computer, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't know maybe other options to give you. So that's where your travel professional comes into play, because they know you hopefully as a traveler, and they'll be able to showcase different options and different promotions and different ideas that maybe you didn't even think about. As far as going to different destinations.
Lots of great ideas and tips. So Onanta Forbes is a travel expert. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Good stuff, Onanta. Thanks.
Yeah. Take care.
This is the Informed Traveler Podcast. I'm Randy Sharman. Just want to remind you of our website, theinformedtraveler.org. That's where you can find our contact page if you have any questions or comments about the podcast or any show segment ideas. You can also email me too with any questions you might have. My email address is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. You can check out our social media pages as well. Facebook.com/Informed Traveler, Instagram at Informed Traveler, or on X at Informed Traveler. That's where you'll find a number of videos and photos from our recent and past interviews and stories. Plus, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter. It's released at the beginning of every month. Our July issue is available. Just go to our website, theinformedtraveler.org, click on the newsletter button, and it will take you right there. Or better yet, you can subscribe to it and have it arrive in your inbox each month. So without a doubt, one of the most historic and iconic places to see while you're in Edinburgh, Scotland is Edinburgh Castle. With a history spanning more than 1,000 years, visitors can also enjoy spectacular panoramic views. So joining us now to give us some insight on visiting Edinburgh Castle is Rianne Hart, tour guide with Edinburgh Castle. EdinburghCastle.scot is the website. Hello, Rianne. How are you?
Hello, Randy. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm excited about learning about Edinburgh Castle. I've never been to Scotland, but tell me a little bit about yourself first. How long have you been guiding people around Edinburgh Castle?
I've been working here now for about 2 years. This will be my third summer that we're entering into, guiding people up and down the big hill that we're up on top of here.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned it's on top of a big hill, because what sparked my interest was a screensaver on my laptop, and I thought there was this big picture of an evening shot of Edinburgh Castle. And I thought, wow, this looks amazing. I have to find out more about it. So, well, let's talk about the location. It's obviously it's a grand location overlooking Edinburgh.
Absolutely, yeah. From the top of this hill, you can actually see on a clear day all the way out to the Scottish borders, all the way north to Fife. It's brilliant views up here, right in the middle of the city as well.
And we could probably talk for hours on the history of the castle, but can you give me a brief history, how long it's been around, and those types of things?
I'll try and be as brief as I can with that, because there's a good few hundred years worth to go through. There's been people at the top of this hill, shall we say, for we think about the last 3,000 years. So we're going back talking about the ancient Celtic tribes with the Votadini in contact with the ancient Romans when they were doing their conquest into Scotland. Being such a big hill up here like this, open, it would have been such a great place for people to gather, and a great fortress sort of place. So there might have well been people here even earlier than that, but the earliest evidence we have is for these tribes like 3,000 years ago, and it's been pretty much in use ever since, because people climbed up here and thought, this is a really good place to be. So there's been levels and built up over time and knocked down over time. It's been a military fortress, a royal place to stay, things like that. It's had all sorts of uses over the years.
How big is the castle? Like to do explore it? Is it all day? It almost seems larger than life.
Yeah, we usually say a couple of hours you can clear everything because it's not just one big building that you're going into. There's sort of loads of little bits to see as you make your way further up the hill. So I say a good 2 or 3 hours to really take in everything on the site, probably.
And there's different ways to explore, right? I am looking on your website, edinburghcastle.scot. So I can explore on my own. I can use headphones, and I can get someone like yourself to tell stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can either come in on your own and take it at your own pace, or we do offer guided tours that are run by me and my colleagues, people like myself. And yeah, we also have the audio guides available so people can still hear a historical account of what went on in the buildings, but they can just take it at their own pace and listen to that as they go around as well.
Is there limited tickets, or I would assume there is, because it could probably in peak times it can get quite crowded, I would think.
Oh yeah, I think we're capped at like 8,500 people a day during the summer, so it gets pretty busy up here. I'd highly recommend pre-booking before you come at any time of year, but we do offer walk-ups as well if you're lucky enough to catch a little free spot.
And how busy does it get? Like right now, we're in the middle of summer, as you mentioned. Is it sold out all the time? Like you want to plan this in advance, sort of thing, and not risk doing a walk up and be disappointed, I would think.
Absolutely, yeah. Pre-booking's the best way to go because at times like this in the summer, especially getting further into like August and stuff, we are hitting about 8,000 people a day. So it does get quite busy up here. So definitely, I would say pre-book it before you come up, just to save from that disappointment, really.
And how long does a guided tour take? You mentioned it only takes a couple hours to go through the whole castle, but can you do both? Can I get a guided tour and then kind of go back to some of the places that sparked my interest?
Yeah, absolutely. So our guided tours work basically, they're half an hour outdoor highlights sort of tours. So a guide like myself would meet you, tell you the highlights on the way up to the top of the hill. And then at the end of the tour, we set you free and you can actually go into the buildings at your own pace and explore them and take them all in fully.
Cool. How do I need to be really physically fit? You mentioned a hill. So I'm climbing a hill. So I do have to have some decent mobility, I would think. No?
Yes, there is. Quite a few people don't realise how much of it is a hill once you even get in through the front gate. But not to worry, we do actually have a mobility car for people that have mobility issues that can't maybe make it up to the top. We do offer a car service to give them a lift up to the very top and back down again as well, just as far as the front esplanade. So if you are a bit challenged in that sort of way, we can help you get up and down the hill as well.
Okay,
as that.
tell me about some of your favorite spots in the castle. Is there a particular spot that you like telling people about, or a particular story that you're waiting for their response?
Oh, that's a great question. There's a couple of bits. One of the sort of lesser noticed parts of the castle is a part called David's Tower. And it goes unnoticed because it's downstairs next to some toilets and in absolute ruins. So people tend to just sort of skip over it completely and don't realise that it's there. But it's actually one of the oldest parts of the castle that you are able to still visit.
And so, like I am, again, looking on your website, edinburghcastle.scot, and it talks about the history, and you touched briefly on it, which, it's got such a deep history, and some of the characters. Is there any characters you like talking about that are from the castle's past?
Oh yeah, there's absolutely loads of it. Mary Queen of Scots is probably the main one that we get asked about as well up here a lot. Mary Queen of Scots and King James IV, King James V, King James VI, they're all quite good characters we can really sink our teeth into. They're all the main ones that have sort of had their history tied directly to this castle in some way.
So now, is there a lot of artifacts? Like what's in the castle? Do you have, is it sort of like museum like, or is it look like it's lived in? And I'm assuming nobody lives there.
Yeah, no one has lived here in terms of like the royal palace and stuff. No one's lived here for a very, very long time. We do have a couple of museums on the site, some military museums that actually do showcase artifacts to do with Scottish military history and things like that that you can visit on the way up. We do have royal apartments. A lot of the rooms are open. The main artifacts that we have on display, of course, are the honours of Scotland, the Scottish crown jewels. Those are the big main pieces to see when you're up here.
What about any kind of events that you have going on year round? Like there's special events that are done yearly, or maybe some coming up to commemorate an anniversary or something?
In terms of events, we do, well, it's not quite us that run it, but we do have the Edinburgh Military Tattoo, which is held every year, every August, out on the front esplanade. And that's military bands from across the world come here to perform. And it's on quite a few nights, pretty much for the whole month of August, right out at the front. That's the main big event that happens here every single year. We do have other little things going on throughout the year as well. We've just had some theatre shows, some outdoor theatre shows that we've just started trialling for this summer, actually, where they build a stage in the middle of the central castle square and put on little performances. And it's actually turned out quite good, I think.
And it is open all year round, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. We are open all the time.
And getting there, like I'm assuming, like if you're staying in Edinburgh, but is it easy to get there, or can I get transportation there? Like, what's the easiest way to get there? And even if you're not in Edinburgh, like people from I don't know, other parts of Scotland, can you do that in a day?
Yeah, I'd say you could probably do it in a day. In terms of public transport, we do have buses that come up, not quite to right the front of the castle, but maybe a few streets down, because we're right at the top of the Royal Mile. So as soon as you're on that Royal Mile stretch, you just keep walking uphill and eventually you'll hit the castle. If anyone's ever asking for directions, you just keep going up. You're eventually going to find a massive castle. It's somewhere up there. Don't worry about it, you'll find it.
I suppose, right? It's like, just keep going up and you'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So talk a bit about the tea rooms, and you can have a light snack while you're there, but there's no formal dining area, is there?
Well, we have our cafe and we have little shops on the site as well. But yeah, the Queen Anne tea room is the main one if you wanted to sit in and eat, but it's more of an afternoon tea. So it's not a huge big meal really. Those usually do require pre-booking as well if you're coming in the summer, but they do offer walk-ins sometimes and takeaways if they've not got any sort of events on or things like that. So that is probably one of the main dining experiences, as well as the cafe just down the hill from it as well.
Mm-hmm. Is there an area of the castle that's still like you haven't explored? I'm assuming over the years you probably explored everywhere, but is there any spot that recently you've discovered and you didn't know about?
I've heard a few stories. There's certain parts, that part I was telling you about earlier, David's Tower. So the first lower levels are open to the public that can actually get in, but it actually goes down a lot further than the area that the public are allowed. So there's little bits underground that I haven't quite fully explored yet, and I'd love to get down and actually see, but unfortunately those bits are not open to the public at the moment. But I like to go exploring, I like to go finding things, so one day I'll get down there and have a good look.
Yeah. What about any hauntings or anything? It seems to me that anything that's that old and historic and full of characters, any stories of that?
Oh, yes. A few of my colleagues have had ghostly experiences up here. There's quite a few. One of the main ghosts is, they call her the Grey Lady sometimes, but from research that some of us have put together, we think it might be the ghost of a lady called Janet Douglas, who's seen in the remains of David's Tower or the Royal Palace. And funnily enough, today being Friday the 17th of July, today was the day it marks the anniversary of when she was burned at the stake just outside the castle grounds, because she tried to poison King James V. So she got caught doing that, and he hated her and her family. So he thought, you know what, time to go, not having that. Today's the 489th anniversary of that, but people have caught her walking through the square, or they smell smoke in some of the corridors and there's no fire. It's just sort of a ghostly waft going past. Or, there's various figures that we've caught around the castle that we think we've traced back to certain historical figures.
Do you get repeat visitors, like people that come all the time, or just love hearing the stories and love being there?
We do sometimes, yeah. There's a couple of members who've came in. They come in usually when it's not peak summer season. They prefer to come when it's a bit quieter. But we do have people returning quite a few times, yeah.
Well, it sounds just absolutely fascinating. I think if you're in Edinburgh, it is like people use the word must see a lot, but this really is a must see, right? If you're in Edinburgh, like you can't miss it. First of all, you can't miss it because it's on top of the hill. But if you were in Edinburgh and didn't go see Edinburgh Castle, it would be a real shame, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're completely missing out. I mean, as you say, it is right on top of a hill in the middle of the city. So you're kind of not going to miss it anyway. It's just going to be constantly there haunting you until you book a ticket to come in and visit us.
It's calling
Looming
your
over
name.
you. Yeah, you must come in and visit.
Well, people can find out more information on the Edinburgh Castle website, edinburghcastle.scot. And Rianne Hart is a guide at Edinburgh Castle. Maybe you can get Rianne to show you around when you go. I do appreciate your time, Rianne. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had a blast.
And that is our show for this week. If you have comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a show idea, send that along as well. My email is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. You can check out our website too at theinformedtraveler.org. In the meantime, thanks for listening, travel safe, and be an informed traveler.